Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for joining us on this Friday afternoon Srimad Bhagavatam class. Joining us on Zoom is Shraddha-devi Dasi. Thank you so much for joining. Good to see you here. Good to see your face after so many days. You look good. And Varshana Mataji joining us from India. And we have Sonal Mataji won't be able to join us now because she has gone back to work. She has to be in the premises like that. And we have on Facebook Devi Dasi and Rima Patel Mataji. Thank you so much here. And we will get started with that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Mataji, Pranam, Varshana Mataji. So, should we get started? What do you think?
Sure.
Alrighty. Okay, so we'll start with the Mangalacharan prayers as usual. And let me just start the recording here on our audio call as well. And okay, I'm just going to put those on mute too. I don't know if we're going to have anybody on the audio call this time. Everybody joining on Zoom. Fantastic. Okay, here we go. And if you can mute yourself. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्टिकी तदा रजस्तमो भावा कामलोभादयश्च ये चेत इत्यसनावृत्तं चित्तं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. And so let's get going into the verse for today. And Hare Krishna, welcoming Smriti Mataji from Folsom, who has joined us on audio, as well as Garima Mataji, who has joined us here on the Zoom call, and Vibhu Sharma Mataji has joined us on Facebook. So all fantastic. And can somebody remind me which verse are we going to do today?
1737, Mataji.
On 737, Varshana Mataji came very prepared for the class. Thank you so much, Mataji. And I'm going to go to WhatsApp for those who are joining us on the audio. You will need to have the verse ready so that you can read along. And I'm just going to post that momentarily. And if Smriti Mataji, you can, when you get access to that, if you can unmute it, and you can let me know that you're able to see that. And on the audio, we're also joined by Sonia Mataji. Fantastic. And I'm going to unmute them so that they can speak up here. And Jia Agarwal is watching us on Facebook. Fantastic. For those of you who joined our morning calls, Jia Mataji did not know that today is a short class, so she joined a little bit late. And I couldn't let her in because I was already in my other class, other meeting. So here we go. Can somebody confirm that they got it? Smriti and Sonia. Okay, Sonia migrated to Facebook. Okay, I think she'll migrate to, both of them migrated to Facebook. Okay, that's good. Then I don't have to worry about it because then they can see what I'm sharing. So I'm going to begin sharing the screen and let's see how my luck goes today on the sharing part of it. And if you can tell me whether you can see my screen. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, and Varshana said verse number 37. So I'm going to start sharing this now. And please, if you can, may kindly confirm that you can see this. Can you?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, Mataji.
All right. Garima is also here with us. So without much ado, let's get inside here. Swaprananya parapranai prapushnanatya agrinaha khalaha तद्वधस्तस्य हि श्रेयो यद्दोषाद् यात्यधा पुमान् स्वाप्राणान् यः परप्राणैः प्रपुष्णाति अत्यगृणः खलः तद्वधस्तस्य हि श्रेयो यद्दोषाद् याति अधा पुमान् स्वाप्राणान् यः पराप्राणैः प्रपुष्णात्य अग्रिणः खलः तद्वधस्तस्य हि श्रेयो यद्दोषाद् याति अधः पुमान्. Synonyms: Swapranan, one's own life. Yaha, one who. Paraprane, at the cost of others' lives. Prapushnati, maintains properly. Agrinaha, shameless. Khalaha, wretched. Tatvadaha, killing of him. Tasya, his. He, certainly. Shreyaha, well-being. Yat, by which. Doshat, by the fault. Yati, goes. Adaha, downwards. Puman, a person. Okay, so let's look at the synonyms more scrutinizingly here. And so, what is the Sanskrit for killing? And you'll have to.
Tadvadhan.
Tadvadhan is killing of
Him.
someone, yeah, him. Okay, and then what is the Sanskrit for fault?
Doshat.
Dosha.
Dosha. All right. And what is the meaning of one's own life?
Swapranam. Swapranam.
Swapranan. Right? Okay. And what is shameless?
Agrina.
Agrinaha. Shameless. Okay. And what is downwards?
Adaha.
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 Right? So we come across the word Adaha in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, where it is describing that the banyan tree is being described, where it says the roots are upwards and the branches are downwards, right? Urdhamulam means the roots are going up, and Adha Shakam, the branches are going down. Urdhamulam, Adha Shakam, Ashvatam, Bahuravyayam, right? Like that. So Adaha means downwards. Patanti Adaha, to fall down, like that. Okay, very good. What is the meaning of at the cost of other people's lives?
Parapranaha.
Parapramaha. Very nice. Who is a wretched person called in Sanskrit?
Kalaha.
Halaha.
And what is the well-being of somebody?
Shreya.
Yeah.
Right? And then Arjun talks about the well-being in Bhagavad Gita, right? Nashreyo hi papashyami. I cannot see the welfare of anybody if I go and kill all these people. So the translation is a cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' lives deserves to be killed for his own well-being. Otherwise, he will go down by his own action. What is down called in Sanskrit? Down.
Adha.
Adha. Right, very nice. Okay, so purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A life for a life is just punishment for a person who cruelly and shamelessly lives at the cost of another's life. Political morality is to punish a person by a death sentence in order to save a cruel person from going to hell. That a murderer is condemned to a death sentence by the state is good for the culprit, because in his next life he will not have to suffer for his act of murder. Such a death sentence for the murderer is the lowest possible punishment offered to him. And it is said in the Smriti Shastras that men who are punished by the king on the principle of a life for a life are purified of all their sins, so much so that they may be eligible for being promoted to the planets of heaven. According to Manu, the great author of civic codes and religious principles, even the killer of an animal is to be considered a murderer because animal food is never meant for the civilized man, whose primary duty is to prepare himself for going back to Godhead. He says that in the act of killing an animal, there is a regular conspiracy by the party of sinners, and all of them are liable to be punished as murderers, exactly like a party of conspirators who kill a human being combinedly. He who gives permission, he who kills the animal, he who sells the slaughtered animal, he who cooks the animal, he who administers distribution of the foodstuff, and at last he who eats such cooked animal food are all murderers, and all of them are liable to be punished by the laws of nature. No one can create a living being despite all advancement of material science, and therefore no one has the right to kill a living being by one's independent whims. For the animal eaters, the scriptures have sanctioned restricted animal sacrifices only, and such sanctions are there just to restrict the opening of slaughterhouses and not to encourage animal killing. The procedure under which animal sacrifice is allowed in the scriptures is good both for the animal sacrificed and the animal eaters. It is good for the animal in the sense that the sacrificed animal is at once promoted to the human form of life after being sacrificed at the altar. And the animal eater is saved from grosser types of sins, eating meat supplied by organized slaughterhouses, which are ghastly places for breeding all kinds of material afflictions to society, country, and the people in general. The material world is itself a place always full of anxieties, and by encouraging animal slaughter, the whole atmosphere becomes polluted more and more by war, pestilence, famine, and many other unwanted calamities. Hari Om Tat Sat. So very, very strong purport by Srila Prabhupada, right? It was heavy, very, very heavy. And okay, so Ramakrishna Prabhu, Bhakta Ramakrishna is joining us here. So is Deepak Bharadaj Prabhu, and Rajesh Kumar Pandey also joined us since Smriti Rajiv joined us here. Prasanna Prabhu is here, and also there. And so all of you, please accept my respectable obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada for giving us this fantastic literature, which we are studying here scrutinizingly, hopefully, today. So, yeah, time for reflections. Unmute yourself and please join. And Deepti Mataji, if you want to join us on Zoom, you can do that. And if you want to join us on, go back and join. If you want to participate, you can join us on the audio conference as well. I've just, unmuted everybody there and myself also so that you can hear me there. Okay. So, your thoughts, anything that struck your mind while reading this?
Everyone in the chain will be getting punished from the person till the person who eats.
Yeah, all the way to the person who eats, right? So what do the others think about it? Thank you, Garima Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Ma, I have a quick question.
Mhm.
What if somebody, because I was talking to some family member who obviously eats meat, and then I was saying that, you have to purify your body first, your existence first, before you can purify your mind and soul for attaining peace of mind. And I was explaining like the four principal regulations, right? So then that person said that, we are highest in the chain of food chain, and that's why, just like in the forest, animal like tiger is the highest in the food chain, so that's why they eat the lower animals. So we are the highest, so that's why we eat in that sanction. And I didn't know what to say, so what should we tell those people?
We are highest. If we are highest in the food chain, then the tiger should not be able to eat us. Right?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, so many animals are able to. So that concept itself is wrong, right? And we
Yeah.
are highest in the food chain, right? And give them a copy of higher tastes, which tells us how the human body is constructed. It's constructed in a manner that it's supposed to digest vegetables. For example, if you look at the tiger, like intestines of a tiger are shorter than the human intestines. How long are our intestines? Any guesses? Any,
25 feet?
any biology teachers here on WhatsApp or here? How much?
25 feet, I believe, from what I remember.
Well, close. Yeah, 32 feet.
Okay.
Right. So it is meant to the food is it's okay for food. So food will stay in our digestive tract for a long time. It's not necessary that you eat food today and it gets out the next day. Some of the food stays for a longer time. And however, in the body of a lion, for example, the intestines are short, small, just enough for the tiger to absorb whatever it needs to absorb for its body from the animal that it's eaten, and then the animal is ejected out of the body. That way, before the animal can become very putrefied and start giving out poisonous substances, it's ejected from the body of the lion. But if we human beings eat meat, the meat is not digested the same day. It stays in our stomach for some time. And guess what? It stays for all the duration that it takes for it to transfer, to traverse the 32 feet of the intestines. So all the toxic products that are produced inside, they will be absorbed by the body. So that itself. So somebody who was talking to me about vegetarianism said that, those who eat meat, their stomach is a graveyard. It's a very strong statement, but it's a fact. Why do you want to make your stomach a graveyard? And you also have to imagine, and they can relate to that. And if you put the question on them, like if somebody was to come and put a knife on my throat, what would be my reaction? What would be my consciousness at that time? Tell me what kind of thoughts will pass my mind at that time.
Fear.
Fear would be one. Okay.
I try to protect myself.
Okay. Emotions.
Emotion.
Give me emotion.
Maybe anger.
Anger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So feeling of helplessness, feeling of anger, and then fear. So all this, that's a consciousness of the animal, and you are eating it. You are what you eat. So that is why, you can get angry a lot by eating these kind of things. So, and then of course I had told a few weeks ago, I think also about you observe the human anatomy and observe how they drink water, right? So that's another one, that those who have got
Lapping.
Yeah, instead of lapping it like that, yeah, herbivorous versus carnivorous, like that. So yeah, so it is. And then again, if for the devotees, we never say that we don't kill. We never say we don't kill, isn't it, Arjuna? Right? So we don't kill. We don't say that we don't kill because we kill, right? We kill. I mean, unknowingly we kill so many, right? What are the things that we kill unknowingly?
Plants too, they have consciousness.
Unknowingly.
Oh, when we construct our house, then we kill a lot of insects. That's why we do the Griha Pravesh, is to ask forgiveness for killing all the insects.
Okay, so whenever there's some construction, something always dies, right? Even if it's a bridge or a road or a house, right? You cause a lot of upheaval to the ants who are living there. So imagine a bulldozer coming through your house and you don't even know what hit you. Same thing happens to them also, those animals who are living underground. So they get uprooted. Okay, so if you're not building a house, then are we safe?
No.
So where else can we kill unknowingly?
Even Mother, while walking, that ants or some other insects may come under our feet. And then the mosquitoes in the house, you see, we get the spray done. The cockroaches, all the sprays being done for them.
Yeah. So you see that sometimes we have to kill for our own protection, right? If a scorpion is going inside your house, and you will kill, right? I mean, our first attempt should always be to, just to dislodge it, remove it from that place and put it out in some other place. For example, if you see a black spider in your kitchen sink, what will be the first instinct? It's a black spider. What should I do? Or run the tap and flush it away. Now look at it from the perspective of the black spider. What just happened? Tsunami hit him, right? Right? That's what it'll think.
It tries to save himself, comes up, down, up, down.
Yeah. Right? So instead of just saying ew and just trying to get rid of the spider, I mean, the spider is small and you have seen it. I mean, it's in front of you. It's not that it's coming from your back and biting you. It's there in front of you. Take out a paper napkin, just, encourage it to come on the paper napkin. Go outside and throw it where it belongs. Right? So as human beings, we have to take a little extra, we have to do a little extra work. Right? Or if you find a spider in the bathroom and it's early in the morning, you have to take a shower and you have to rush to the office, then maybe that day go into another bathroom and take a shower there. Right? Most houses usually have 2 bathrooms. Take a shower in another bathroom, or don't take a shower if you can't. Just sponge yourself that day, but don't kill that animal, because every soul is in a particular body and is out there for a particular purpose. Krishna has put it there for a particular purpose, so we don't do that. And then, of course, as Preeti Radhika, you were saying that there are certain things that we do on purpose. And the killing it on purpose happens, for example, when you eat the roots of a plant, right? When you eat the roots of a plant, for example, what roots do we eat?
Potatoes.
Okay, I would give that a yes, but technically potato is not a root, it's a tuber.
Oh.
And I'm just saying that Vidya Vadhu is watching, she's a botanist. She's just telling me, why did you allow that? Yeah, but what other roots do you eat?
Ginger, Mataji, it's a root.
I don't know what ginger is, but maybe it is. Yeah, some sort of a root. Vidya Vadhu, please tell us if ginger is a root or not. She's watching us. Very famous root that we eat, red in color.
Carrot, radish.
Right, radish, turnips, right? All the underground. These are all roots. So when you're eating the roots, you are plucking the whole plant out, right? So it's a short case of killing the plant, right? When you're plucking the fruits of a plant, the plant doesn't die, right? Like if there's apple tree, you go to the apple tree and you pluck off the apples from there, the apple tree doesn't die because of that, right? But when you're eating the roots, they're dead, right? Because you pulled out the whole thing. So we do kill plants, and that's why, we don't say that we don't eat, we don't kill. We do kill. Anybody who's here in this material world will kill, knowingly or unknowingly, right? There's a famous verse. It says, "Apadani." What is that? Apadani chatus ahastani chahastani, apadani chatuspradam, falguni tatra mehetam, jivo jivasya jivanam. So it says that those who don't have hands, ahastani chahastani, are prey to those who have got hands. Right? If you don't have hands, then a person with hands can kill you. Similarly, those who don't have legs can be killed by those who have got legs. In general, the weak become the food of the strong. Falguni tatra mahatam. Falguni is the weak and mahatam is the strong. So they become the food for the strong. Jivo jivasya jivanam. In this material world, one person is the food for another. So it's kind of like a cycle. So it's not that we are on the highest in the food chain and then that we can eat everybody like that, right? Somebody can eat us like that. It's a mutual thing. A tiger can eat us and I can eat a tiger also, depending on who wins that particular match. Like that. And then what we say is that, we actually eat prasadam. We eat prasadam, Vaishnavas, we eat prasadam. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Right? Yo me bhaktya prayachati. So one who gives me a leaf, a flower, fruits, and water, like that, So I will take it. So these are the things. So we will eat only stuff which has been prescribed for eating in the Shastras. And so again, there are different types of Puranas meant for people with a different bent of mind, whether they are in the mode of goodness, whether they are in the mode of passion, or whether they are in the mode of ignorance. And so according to them, for those who are in the mode of, I don't know where I'm getting these noises. So for those who are in the mode of ignorance, eating of meat is prescribed. And but they will eat it. And as Prabhupada is also saying there that the Vedas make it very difficult for them to eat meat, right? For example, they will say you can only eat meat that has been offered to Kali, right? The Kali Devi there. So, you have to do it at a particular time. You have to have certain mantras to be done. You can only eat it only so many times in a month, and so on and so forth. Like that. In other religions also, the meat has to be cut in a proper way. The animal has to be killed in a proper way. Otherwise you can't eat it. Right? Like, so they are just deterrents to make you not eat meat and make it difficult for you to eat, because you have the tendency, and human beings have got the tendency. Human beings have got that inherent tendency to eat meat, and that is why they have got 2 canine teeth on these sides. But for those who have a desire to eat, they have been given teeth so that they can tear the meat, with those 2 teeth like that. So the human body is there, but then, we have to understand, the intelligent people understand that this human body is meant for a particular purpose, and that is to atato brahma jigyasa, that is to find about God. So we will do everything that is conducive for devotional service, right? Anukulyasya, pratikulyasya sankalpa, anukulyasya varjanam. So whatever is not favorable for devotional service, we will not do. So if eating meat is not favorable for devotional service, then we will not eat it, right? Like that. So, and Prabhupada again is saying that, and as Garima Mataji pointed out, that people are, everybody gets implicated. And that is why for Varshana Mataji, we used to have these conversations, and we went over these conversations many, many times over the past few years, 4 or 5 years ago. She was always asking that, about charity, and can I give charity to other, somebody has been helpful to me, somebody has been kind to me, and I want to just in return give them some charity. And I was always saying that, give charity where you think Krishna consciousness is going to be propagated and is going to be enhanced. Don't give charity without thinking, because that is charity in the mode of ignorance. For example, if somebody comes and says that I'm collecting money, it is Thanksgiving, and I'm collecting money for providing food. So you might be absent-minded, and you might just think that I'm providing food and I'm providing money for food. But you have to, and so you give the money and you're very happy. But you have to find out and do that extra work to see where is that money going? What kind of food are they going to serve? And everybody knows that in Thanksgiving, so many thousands of turkeys are killed. That bird is killed, right? And they're made into a soup, and you're serving them in the kitchen soup. So in this verse, Prabhupada is saying, you will get implicated. So it is such a horrifying thought to think like I was sitting so snug and was giving a part of my salary towards these soup kitchens. And I thought I was accumulating good karma, and what happened now to me? Now I'm being punished. So it's very important to be aware. Very important to be aware of the rules and regulations. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse, right? Even in our lives, forget about the laws of karma or the laws of material nature. Even in our lives, it's clearly said that if you didn't know it was a law, it doesn't matter. You will still get the punishment like that. So, and you see the whole set of people who get implicated there. The one who transports the meat, right? So that is why when I keep on pointing out this verse, and I'm going to bring it up again here so that it gets etched in our memory here.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Prabhupada has written in one of his purports that if the person is driving and there is a red light and he still crosses it, and he says that I did not know that red light is meant for to stop. So, but still he gets punished. So ignorance, as you said, is not, you cannot get away with it, with ignorance.
Absolutely, yes. 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 Correct. Correct. And I sent a link. Well, I think there's no need for me to send a link because everybody on audio has joined the Facebook, so which is good. And I'm going to share this verse with you all. Can you tell me whether you can see? It is from Bhagavad Gita 4.17. Can you see that? Varshana, can you confirm?
No, Mataji.
Not yet. Okay, let's see. And sharing the screen one more time with you here. Can you now?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Karmano hai api bodhyam.
Karmano hi api bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. So here this is Krishna is telling Arjuna the intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. And this is in support with what you just quoted just now, right? Varshana Mataji, just saying that I did not know the rules and I jumped a traffic light. Well, you should know. That's what it's saying. You should know, right? You should know properly what is action, what is inaction, and what is vikarma. So according to the government, if you don't follow the traffic rules, it is vikarma because you're going against the law. And these intricacies are very, very subtle. You don't even know. For example, I gave the example of King Nirga. King Nirga, who was distributing cows, right? He was giving away cows in charity. He gave some 10,000 cows to one Brahmana and was continuing to give charity. And one of the cows strays from that lot, right? And comes back to the lot of cows that king was giving away. And so, to cut a long story short, one cow got double donated. She got donated 2 times. And so the next second Brahmana, started going back home with this cow, and among others as well. So he had many cows, and then he had this double donated cow. And then in the meantime, the first Brahmana realized that one cow was missing. So he starts coming back and starts searching for the cow, and he finds the other one has it. And they both start fighting. And he says, no, this is my cow. My king has given me. He says, no, the king gave it to me. He says, impossible. He gave it to me. Like that. And so both of them are fighting. And then they come to the king. And then the king doesn't know what to do. So he tells to both of them that I will, why don't you, take another one from me, either one of you. I'm willing to give you one more cow. But both of them were adamant, and they cursed him to become a lizard. And he had to become a lizard, like that. So you never know. The intricacies of karma are very, very subtle, right? And it on the face of it, it could look like a very harmless thing. You might not even know from where the karma has come and hit you. And that is why in the Bhagavatam, it is said this padam padam yat vipadam natesham. At every step, there is a danger. For example, a person could be doing something very simple. Like he goes to a company, he goes and works to a company. He's a very good worker, doesn't tell lies, doesn't beat anybody, is very proper, is a vegetarian. And then he works in a company that makes cans, aluminum cans. And he's a very nice worker. He gets rewarded by the company for doing fantastic job. He gets promoted and all that kind of stuff. Everything is going good, except for looking at it from the laws of karma perspective and from the Mother Nature's perspective. If that can gets used in packaging some non-vegetarian food, right, and is sold, then this man also gets implicated. Now we might just cry and say like, this is not fair. This is not fair. We can cry as much as we like, but it's the law of nature. This is where we are. This is how our situation is. Like that. And that is why we say, take to devotional service. Take to devotional service. Otherwise, you can get punished, right? So what are the ways in which we can get punished? Tell me, what are some of the punishments that gets meted out to people?
In their next birth, they will be born as animals, and then the other animal will kill them. That's one of those.
Okay, yeah. So that's one of those. I was talking, yes, so that's according to the laws of nature, right? That happens in laws of nature, laws of karma. Manu has written Manu Samhita, which talks about the rules of life, how it has to be lived. So I was in general talking about the administration, like in our lives, right? We see there is crime and we see there is punishment, right? In our lives. So can you give me some examples from there on what would be give me some broad types of punishments that you see. You give punishment, so you see others, you see punishment being meted out to others like that.
Oh, like in general, like if somebody breaks a red light and they get tickets or they get pulled over for jumping a stop sign, that kind?
Yes. Yeah. So one way you're saying they are punished is that they are fined, right? They have to pay a fine, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you also mentioned that your daughter Megha was saying that in law they dole out the punishment where it hurts the most for the lesson that they need to learn.
Yes. Okay.
It
So
pinches
give me specific punishments, and we will come to that point as well, Preeti. So hold on to that thought. Give me some example of. Okay, have you punished your children ever? Let me ask it this way: did your children ever get punishment, or you gave
Yes, I remember Varshana Mataji's example.
Varshana, you have become famous. Right?
But it was a good teaching.
Yes, good teaching. Give me, rake your brains and tell me what are the other punishments that you see are meted out.
So if my son has a sweet tooth, so he steals candy. So what I did is I hid all the candy, and for one whole week I did not give him, and then he learned his lesson.
Yeah. Okay, so you did that. Okay. What else? What else happens to people who punish a crime? Go higher. You're good people. You can't even think of a crime. Go higher in the crime world and think of bigger crimes and the punishments.
Like Madhuri, man comes and tells you that this is the problem. Like you see, if there is some problem in the bathroom and the water is not going, there's some problem with the drainage, and he diagnoses incorrectly and charges me the money and tells me that he is a authorized person, and I give him the check, but then I can make the stop payment because he first of all told a lie that he is authorized, and second thing, he did not, that was not the problem. The problem was something else. So you see, I mean, I stopped the payment. So that is also a punishment, that he coming and going, whatever he spent on petrol, he had to give it from his pocket.
Yeah. So basically, the examples that you gave about punishment here are either you have to give up something that you possess. For example, when you're fined something, then you have money and you have to pay the fine, right? And then also, if it's a bigger crime like if you're repeatedly breaking the traffic rules, then they will take away your privilege of driving, right? Driving is not a right, it's a privilege, right? So that gets taken away from you. Or you can make something that they want, you can make it inaccessible to them, like how Preeti Radhika hid all the sweets from her son, like that, right? Or you can prevent him from getting what he thinks is his, which in your case, Varshana Mataji, you did, and that is you stopped the payment on the check, like that. Okay, now look at the crimes around you. What are some of the other things? What are some of the other punishments? And those of you who are watching us on Facebook can tell us that as well. Anchika, thank you so much for joining. Selva Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Okay. And then Bhageshri Mataji, thank you for joining us on the call. And Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Yeah, and Vidyavadhu Mataji says that ginger is an underground stem. It is not a fruit. So Preeti Radhika, for your botanical delight. Ginger, we learned one more thing here. Yes, ginger is good for health.
Thank you, Ma.
Yeah. What are
And
what, you don't see any
yes,
other punishments around you? Where do you live? Vaikunta or what? There are no other punishments? Okay, here, Rima Patil is telling us something, and let me see what she's telling us. In school time, teacher will punish if you go late in the classroom. Have to stay outside will be punishment, so that the next day we will go early. Okay, yes, thank you so much, Rima Mataji. So that is that, yeah, you are put in certain place, and you're denied the place where you would have normally sat, right? Instead of sitting inside the classroom, you are outside of it. All right. Any other punishments?
If somebody rapes or murders, then they go to jail, according to if it was premeditated murder or things
Right.
like that.
Right. So they are put into jail, right? So they are put into jail, and then and maybe they will be killed, right? Right?
yes.
Yeah. So so you listed that they can be fined, their privileges could be lost, and then we are one of the major things that happens as part of the punishment, and which Rima Patel Mataji also pointed out, and which we all part of, is that you are restricted on where are you going to stay. You stand in the corner, right? The mother tells the child, right? In your case, Bashana, okay, not telling. And then, or they might say that, yeah. So really, if you look at it, we have to look at ourselves, right? Where are we? We have been asked to leave the spiritual planets, and we have been put in this jail, right? That's the biggest punishment that we have. The restrictions on where you can stay. So people are put on jail, first class jail, second class jail, solitary confinement. There are all varieties of punishments over there. But we have to look at ourselves that, I am in a jail. How about that? Right? People point fingers at others. Oh, jail gaya hai, wo jail gaya. The jail gaya or not like that. You have been in jail, we won't give you a job, right? So if from the material world, from the spiritual world, we have come into this material world, which is like a prison. Exactly. Srimad Bhagavatam tells you that, right? And then we also had we will come across that later, 10 chapters later in the first canto. We will come across how King Parikshit punishes Kali, the personality of Kali Yuga. Kali, right? Not Kali the goddess, but Kali, the personality of Kali Yuga, right? So how does personality of Kali Yuga appear before King Parikshit? Anybody remembers that from the story?
He looked very tattered and haggard. He had disheveled hair. He was very dark in complexion, and he was harassing a bull.
Yes. But what was he wearing? He was wearing
Robe.
royal clothes.
Royal
Yeah,
Yeah.
Varshana. He was wearing royal clothes, and he was harassing a bull, and he was beating it. And then Parikshit Maharaj takes out his sword to kill him, and then Kali gets scared of that, and but it was very smart. He immediately surrenders. Now, when you are surrendered, then you cannot kill them, right? Because that's what we have been reading in the previous verses here, that you cannot kill somebody who has surrendered to you because he is under your shelter. How can you kill somebody who's in your shelter, right? Like that. So, so there are Parikshit Maharaj tells him that you cannot stay in my kingdom. I'm going to banish you from this kingdom. So now Kali is saying, you are the king of this whole planet. Where will I go? So again, you see that, as we are punished in this material world, we are, and especially in Kali Yuga, our punishment is even more severe, that you are confined to a particular planet within this universe. You cannot go from one planet to another planet without giving up your body, right? Material body, you have to do that. Want to go to another planet, you have to die, take another body, and go to the other planet, like that. So he restricts. So there is a restriction was there, and then he falls again at the feet and says, "What will I do? You own this whole thing." And then he said that there are 4 places where you can live, in slaughterhouses and brothels and things like that. So he tells you can live in those places where gambling is happening, and there are alcohol bars and things like that. And then Kali again turns around and says, but those places don't exist in your kingdom because you're such a righteous king. And then he says, okay, you can live in gold also. So you see the punishment of the Kali that he gave, right? So you're restricting from where you can live, So we are restricted, cannot live in spiritual world now. In the material world, then there is punishment like Kali was punished. Then there are punishments that people are put into jail, etc. As you pointed out, and Smriti Raji Mataji is also pointing out the same thing as well. And Haran Priya Babu, welcome to the call, right? And sending the criminals behind the bars, Archana Mataji says that. And yeah, those are also examples. Sometimes the response comes much later from Facebook, so I'm not able to respond immediately to that. Then also sometimes the restrictions happen. For example, if you lose your visa status, can you stay in that country? Yes or no? Can you or can you not? If you're watching us on Facebook, please type yes or no. Answer to
No,
You have
we can't.
back immediately. Yeah.
Right? So if you lose your visa status, you have to leave a country. And especially if you're not a citizen of the country and you're caught stealing something, they will depart you, right? They will ask you to leave the country. You'll be put on the next plane and you have to go back to your country. So these are restrictions on, the punishment. As part of the punishment, you are restricted from where can you actually stay, right? So here, for example, so many juvenile people, young people, what they do is they will go to a shop, and usually they will pick either cosmetics or something to eat or steal some alcohol. Those are the kind of things that they bill for. And if they are caught by the security staff over there, I mean, they are juvenile, so they will not go to jail, but there will be other severe punishments for them. For example, you cannot stay out of your house after 8 o'clock. So they are put on a curfew till they become adolescents, like that. Or they might say, okay, you pay a fine, right? So paying a fine for an adolescent, it doesn't hurt them because the parents have to pay the fine, right? But for the adolescent, they will say, okay, bring your father and let him pay the money. And then, but you are not allowed to go into any of our chain of shops, not only our shop, but any shop in our chain of shops. You cannot enter those shops till you have reached the age of 18 and things like that. So there's a lot of punishment that is there around us. And so why do we think, why do we punish? Like, why do we punish?
To
So
make
that they mend their ways.
Okay, so that people can mend their ways, right? Right, Varshana, is that what you
Yes.
said? Okay.
Yes, Mother.
Okay. So one of the reasons that you're doing that they go there and they learn their lesson, right? And then they don't do it again, right? Okay. What else could be reasons that a person could punish somebody else?
Hare Krishna Mas, sorry to interrupt, but your screen goes on saying that Shraddha-devi Dasi has started sharing her screen, and you're not there in the main screen.
Oh, is it?
Unless it's only me.
Oh, I should stop the screen.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, so thank you.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So so we were talking about the different types of different reasons for punishing, and one of the reasons you said is that you want them to become better, to mend their ways, or as we say in the technical terms, we say that we rehabilitate them, right? So they are punished, they mend their ways, and then they come back. Either they will come back to normal life. They will give up that bad habit. So you punish them, right? Little bit. They'll be put in some. They might be put through some training also. They might have to do some hard labor also, but they learn the lesson. They come back. They become good citizen, and everybody's happy there, right? Okay, so that's one reason you punish people. Why? Yeah, some more reasons why somebody could get punished.
So society and even laws of nature are trying to make us better versions of ourselves. Like they're trying to make us better or improve.
Yeah. So that is rehabilitation, right? Rehabilitating. Laws of material nature are to rehabilitate us to our natural position of being a servant of the Lord, right? Through punishments, at some point you will turn your face to Krishna and realize that I cannot do anything without him, and surrender like that, right? So other reasons of why one could punish is to deter, a person from doing that. And that brings into the mind your comment on the punishment should be such that it should pinch, right? If the punishment is very easy, then it doesn't, there's no reason why the person will mend his or her ways. Like, for example, parking. The example that I gave was of my daughter saying that one of his bosses never bothered paying the parking ticket. He would park anywhere and then pay the fine, like that, right? So they are also meant to deter people from doing that, right?
Hare Krishna Mataji, and sorry to interrupt. Mataji, Mrs. in her times, she had parked, her driver had parked the car where he was not supposed to do it. And Kiran Bedi, she was the in charge there, and she got her car picked up from there and was sent back. So this way also senior people should also be punished, so that they know they are not supposed to do it. And we see the seniors, then we usually follow them. The public will follow such people. So it is very important for them to be
for them to do that. And Krishna will say that to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, like, what great men do, common people follow.
Yes.
So in a just system, everybody has to suffer, and that's why you see when Sita had to go through Agni Pariksha and things like that, right? To that the trauma of doing that. So you will typically give punishments to deter people from doing it, like that, right? Like your mom gave punishment to you so that you wouldn't repeat that action again. Sometimes the punishment is that there to bring them back to normal life by giving up something wrong that they were doing, like that. And sometimes, you will punish them. Your punishment will incapacitate somebody. That the crime was so severe that you have to put a stop to it. Like, make sure that they never ever do it again. And in some of the countries in the world, you see that if a person is caught stealing something, then their hands are chopped off. Right? So it's the extremes of punishment that a person can give. And of course, on tops in the chart of punishments is the capital punishment, where a person is killed. Right? Death is the way in which to do it. Sometimes people can also punish somebody out of revenge. They just want to take revenge on somebody, and you did that, so I will punish you because of this. Sometimes you said this about me in front of others, now let me punish you. And like that. So those are the reasons that we will punish. And then of course we can have a long debate, and which is not the topic of today's class, is whether there should be capital punishment or not, especially in these days when we don't even know whether the rulers are capable enough and the justice system is good enough to make the right decisions, because death is very final and it could just be a wrong decision, right? So the interesting thing which I noticed was that and the one thing before I go there is that when there is a justice system, and those who maintain the justice system, right, which would be Kshatriyas in our case, in our Varnashram dharma system, when there's a justice system and the keepers of the justice, they don't feel good if those who are criminals are allowed to go scot-free, because it's a mockery of the justice system for them, right? For example, a team of policemen is very vigilant, and they catch a thief from thieving, or they find somebody parking a wrong car. And then guess what? The criminal in this particular case, not big or small, whatever, they have done something wrong, they can bring in, support and have clout, and they bring in their some politician who's their relative and things like that, and they go scot-free, right? That's not good. That is not good for those who are maintaining the justice, right? So there is, we understand that we are living in Kali Yuga, And then there is the justice system itself is flawed, right? So just because the justice system is flawed, our method of recruiting judges is flawed, and whatever that is, that doesn't mean that the laws are wrong. Because as Prabhupada points out here in this particular verse, is that even if you get scot-free, even if you bring in the best of the lawyers to defend you, and you could have done something as bad as murdering someone, that doesn't mean the laws of karma are not going to get at you. So in any case, if somebody did a crime and he was supposed to be given awarded capital punishment, and he gets away from that, it doesn't mean that the laws of nature are going to let him go also. In the next life, he has to die, next lives, or whenever it happens, and he's going to. So Prabhupada is saying it's better he suffers it now here itself, because then his sins are, washed off like that. Right? So, putting influence, this and that is fine. You can do that. But we have to understand that punishment is an integral part of our life. I mean, I was just looking at, how does Bhagavad Gita tell about punish? But, it's not, punish word is not in Bhagavad Gita at all. But punishment is in 6 places it appears in purports, etc. And although Krishna doesn't say that I punish him and I punish them, but he says that in a subtle way, where he says that, those who are perpetual traitors, I kind of cast them into lower species of life, and where they suffer life after life like that. And of course, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a lot of mention of punishments and people suffering. And if you read Srila Prabhupada's, transcriptions of his speeches, a lot of time he's talking about that. At least 500 times it appeared over there. So, and then in Bhagavad Gita 2.2, second chapter, which you are reading, does mention, about punishment. And let me just bring that up, and I'll start sharing with you, and let me know once you see it coming up on your screen. So here we go. Sharing the desktop here again with you, and can you see this?
Yeah, 2.21.
Okay, right. So Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajamavyayam katham sa purusha partha kam ghatyati hantikam. O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, or immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? And then Prabhupada explains in the purport that everything has its proper utility, and a man who is situated in complete knowledge knows how and where to apply a thing for its proper utility. And of course, Arjuna's compassion was misplaced, right? Similarly, violence also has its utility, and how to apply violence rests with the person in knowledge. Although the justice of peace awards capital punishment to a person condemned for murder, the justice of peace cannot be blamed because he orders violence to another person according to the codes of justice. In Manu Samhita, the law book for mankind, it is supported that a murderer should be condemned to death so that in his next life he will not have to suffer for the great sin he has committed. Therefore, the king's punishment of hanging a murderer is actually beneficial. Similarly, when Krishna orders fighting, it must be concluded that violence is for supreme justice, and thus Arjuna should follow the instruction, knowing well that such violence committed in the act of fighting for Krishna is not violence at all, because at any rate the man, or rather the soul, cannot be killed. So for the administration of justice, so-called violence is permitted. A surgical operation is not meant to kill the patient, but to cure him. Therefore, the fighting to be executed by Arjuna at the instruction of Krishna is in full knowledge, so there is no possibility of sinful reaction. So we see here, this is Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. So where, the Mahabharata war has not yet started in a full-blown form. And yet we see that Krishna is explaining all that. And then we see, and we know, because we read the Bhagavad Gita, that in the end, in Mahabharata, we know that in the end, Arjuna is going to fight. Now, again, what is happening is that Mahabharata war is over. And now this Ashwathama has killed the 5 sons of the Pandavas mercilessly, against all rules and against all Vedic injunctions. He has killed them. And Krishna is again putting Arjuna in the same situation. He's saying a cruel, in today's verse, he's saying a cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' lives deserves to be killed for his own well-being. Otherwise, he will go down by his own actions. So again, Krishna is putting Arjuna in a similar situation where he had put him in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, saying that, you have to kill. And in the Shastras, we will find, we'll find many places, we'll find many situations where justice was meted out, justice was given, right? I mean, Srimad Bhagavatam is full of stories like that. I mean, apart from the fact that, we have Kali, of course, Kali was punished by Maharaj, by Maharaj Parikshit, like that, right? And then Ashwathama, we know, will be punished later on in this chapter. We will know he'll be given a suitable punishment. He's a Brahmana. He'll be punished accordingly. And then we know Ramchandraji, right? Ramchandraji, he killed Vali, right? And when Vali was killed by Rama, the example, the explanation there is that Vali took the wife of his younger brother and kept her as his wife. Now, a younger brother is like your son. And so your younger brother's wife is like your daughter-in-law or daughter, she's in the category of a daughter. So you married your daughter, which is incest. So he has to be killed. It's an act which is punishable by death. And if you escape that, then, you will still suffer. You will still suffer. Not in this life, but in the next life. So better be done with it. Better be done with it now rather than, try to dodge it. Because the more we try to dodge these kinds of situations, the more we try to adjust our material surroundings, the worse it gets for us. So whatever is coming, take it, suffer it, and move on. That karma is burned. If not, then the karma is lying in wait for us, and it'll get us. No matter where we run, our karma just follows us. And we'll be forced to do whatever we have to do like that. Okay? So I will stop here and take any last minute reflections or questions that you may have on this. Then I'm going to...
Hare Krishna Mataji, you just now said that a younger brother or means a brother-in-law, or if they should not do this. But I saw one incident here in Pune itself, and that the husband died in the accident, and the father-in-law got the girl married to his younger son, so that the child can be looked after in the family itself, and the property also doesn't get divided in somebody else, like that, you see. So, well, was that a crime or was that a injustice? How will we?
Yes, because marrying your brother's wife is absolutely prohibited in Kali Yuga. Absolutely prohibited. In Kali Yuga.
But then this was done by the father-in-law. You see, father-in-law himself.
Yeah, that's why Bhagavad Gita 4.17. It's very difficult to understand the intricacies of karma. Right? And did the wife protest and say, I don't want to get married? Or was she like, fine, my son is being taken care of. Why should I live like a widow? I will live like a wife, right? I'll enjoy. And of course, the property, I'll get twice of it. Now, you see?
Mm.
It's very subtle. That's what I'm saying, that you might think it is right, but it is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to see the motive behind it. If the motive was property, it's not the right motive at all. It's completely material motive. If you look at it, that's what I'm saying, that anything that you do, that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18 chapter verse number 48, he says that every action that you do here in this material world is covered with some smoke. Like fire is covered with smoke, anything that you do is covered with some sort of a fault. Like the example I gave, that, a poor, innocent person making cans, right?
Yeah.
But depending on what the can is being used. What to talk about people who work in rifle companies and gun companies, those kind of companies, right? They are manufacturing these things, and they could be utilized in the wrong way. So because whenever something happens, you have to look at the cause. And the cause for any action, there are many causes for an action. There is a material cause. Material cause means, like, for example, if I take a chair, right? If I take a chair, and so what is the cause of that chair existing? The cause of that chair is the wood that was used, right? Because of the wood, the chair has been made, or because of the steel, this chair has been made. So there is a material cause, the material that is used. Then there is a efficient cause. The efficient cause is the one who put this material into a particular shape so that a chair is formed. Took a hammer and put some nails, took a saw and cut the wood into shape. That person is known as the efficient cause. So, and we are so used to thinking that there will be some material, a cause will be a material cause, and then there will be somebody doing some action. So there is an efficient cause of anything that happens. But sometimes not doing, sometimes inaction is also a cause. Inaction is also a cause, and which is punishable, right? For example, you were supposed to raise it, and some people are looting somebody, and you just stand there and take pictures so that you can publish it on internet at what a fine crime that you witnessed. Whereas as a human being, you were supposed to shout so that those who are perpetuating the crime will flee away, but we didn't do that. So we are punishable. There was a very famous case that happened that somebody, a big celebrity, had met with an accident, and the paparazzi, the photographers that follow them, the paparazzi stopped and started taking pictures instead of dialing 911, and he was fined. So sometimes you can get fined for inaction also.
Inaction.
Cause of death is not, the photographer was also the cause of death. Not that he shot at this celebrity, not that, or not that he supplied the gun. No, but he did not call 911, right? He becomes a cause. So the intricacies of karma are very, very difficult to understand. And that is why we say that take to devotional service, karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. Right? It's asta indragopam athavendra ahosa karma. Right from Indragopa all the way up to Indra, people are subjected to laws of karma and karmic reactions. But only one thing that can burn all your karmic reactions is devotional service. So we know we are in this wretched place called the material world. And we will do things like, Jar Bharat was such an exalted soul, King Bharat in his third birth, like when he was carrying King Rahugana on the palanquin, and he was walking like this. Why? Because on the floor, he would see that there were ants. And so he was stepping this way and this way and this way and this way to try to avoid the train of ants that was going. And that made King Rahugana angry. We can't afford to do that, right? The kind of lives that we lead, can we just walk by looking on the ground like that? We'll be in an accident. You drive a car on the freeway, how many ants are there? Who knows? Like that. So knowingly or unknowingly, we are committing violence. And so that's why and Rashashika Prabhu says that that you when we perform devotional service, there are some aparadh that we do. So aparadh is crime, and for aparadh there'll be punishment, like that. So that's why he says that we should read, and Archana Paddhati tells us that you should read a chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day, so that you are doing something to atone for those crimes that we do unknowingly, and then leave it up to Krishna. Your intention, like we were talking in the morning, right? That Krishna looks at the intentions also. He's Bhavgrahi Janardana. You can't help it. And because you can't help it, that's why we should not make these big claims that I am a vegetarian. No, we are not. So many bacteria go inside my mouth when I drink a glass of water, right? And there could be small tiny insects inside the cauliflower, which I chew and eat, or inside the ladyfinger. You don't know, you cook them, right? So so we constantly, it's the nature of this material world. It is like that.
Very difficult.
Yeah, difficult. So that's why stay on the right path and continue to chant. Yeah. And then Archana Mataji is asking this question. that Ojia is saying that punishment is to protect ourselves. Yeah, that is right. And then Archana, I didn't understand Smriti Rajiv Mataji's no can't stay. I didn't understand her answer. Maybe I lost the track when she wrote that. Why animal sacrifice are sanctioned in scripture? The Lord himself is the creator of all living beings. So how can a demigod goddess Mother Kali can be happy by such an offering? Yes, a good question. So why animal sacrifices are sanctioned? The animal sacrifices are sanctioned, like I said, to make it difficult for those who have a tendency to eat meat. If a person has a tendency to eat meat, he will eat meat anyhow. He will eat meat because he has a tendency, he has a desire, he will do it. So what we are saying is we are telling, okay, do it in a controlled environment, so that when you do it in a controlled environment, you will become so sick and tired of it, of all the controlled environment, that one day you'll say, I give up. I don't want to eat meat any longer. I'm fed up with all these nonsensical things that we have to do. And we have to understand that Kali, Kali, goddess Kali, she is a devotee of the Lord. And she has got this thankless task of, offering. And I was listening to somebody's lecture. I'm forgetting the name of the person, but he said something which made sense. And he said that if Kali is a devotee of the Lord, and so when we offer all these sacrifices to Kali, she's a devotee of the Lord. How can she eat all this? Right? She's eating all these animals, like if she's a devotee. So he said that when he offers, and I don't have scriptural evidence for that, so don't quote me, but it made sense to me. He said that when you offer these animals to goddess Kali, she doesn't eat it. She gives it to the ghosts and the vampires and those kind of entities. So they eat it. And so what you're actually eating is not Kali's prasadam. You're eating prasadam from bhoot and pishachas, ghosts and vampires. And so you can imagine, if you eat anybody's mahaprasad, then what's going to happen? You get their habits, right? So meat eaters will get those kind of habits, right? Vampire kind of habits, right? So like that. So and we have a story in support of the fact that Kali is a devotee of the Lord. Again, in the case of Jar Bharat, right? So Jar Bharat is King Bharat, right? In his third birth. So for first King Bharat, next birth he's a deer, and in the third birth he is he's born as Jar Bharat. And where Jar means he tries to appear as if he's foolish, although he knows he's now super intelligent, having gone through those two life experiences. So, but hence he's knowledgeable, but he doesn't want to display that. And so he was he was captured by some dacoits or some of these low kind of people who eat meat, etc. And they wanted to sacrifice a human being to goddess Kali, and they find him, and then they are ready to sacrifice him. But Kali knows that this is a devotee of the Lord. And so these men who do sacrifices in front of the Kali, they've got a special knife, shaped like this, which is very good to chop off the neck of human beings. And so they have this knife over there, and they're ready to chop off Bharat's thing. And then what happens? Kali, she bursts out of the deity. They have the deity of Kali. She bursts out of that deity, takes up the very sword that these men were using to try to kill Bharat. And using that sword, she kills all those. And Prabhupada mentions that in Srimad Bhagavatam. She says, see, this is what it happens when you worship Kali, that you would think that I was worshipping her all my life, that she would take my side. But she didn't. She took the side of a devotee because she is a devotee. And Krishna doesn't want, doesn't like anybody to hurt his devotees. So why would a devotee tolerate that? So she goes and kills that. So it is not meant for us. Some of the Vedic sacrifices Archana allowed for the priest to kill the animals, and those were, Prabhupada mentions that those were meant to test the efficacy of the mantras. So you have to remember that these are not the priests of Kali Yuga who don't know Sanskrit also properly. What to talk of chanting some mantras, right? So those were well-established priests, and they would test the efficacy of the mantra. And what would happen is that this was good for both the animal, for the animal as well, because sometimes they did that to rejuvenate the animal. So the animal is old, you cut it, and it would get a fresh and a younger body to live out the rest of its karmas. And sometimes it would be promoted to a higher life, like your animal, you are sacrificed in a sacrifice, and then next birth you get the body of a human being. So because the human being is the best body to get, so it's a good place to be. So all these appear to be very gory things to us, and especially in Kali Yuga and the sacrifices and all that. That's why in Kali Yuga they're saying don't even do. These are things happening in Sat Yuga and Dwapar, those kind of yugas where people are much exalted. The ambience is very different. This is Kali Yuga. The only sacrifice that is recommended in this Kali Yuga is the japa, sacrifice of japa. We say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So just take to this. Don't think about too much about punishment and this did, and Shivji killed Daksha, he chopped off his head. Yeah, but where was that? When was that happening? I mean, that was happening in a yuga where Daksha's head was cut off, but the surgeons were so skilled that they could take the head of a goat and put it on the body of Daksha and bring him back to life. So those are very exalted people living in a very exalted era. We are in the worst of the era, Kali Yuga, so we better behave ourselves like that. So I hope, Archana Mataji, that answers your question. Anything else from the Zoom board here? Okay, so if no more questions, we will call it a day here. Thank you so much for joining us here, and we will meet again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tomorrow morning, there won't be any morning class because we have Japa International Japa Circle by Make Japa Great Again, actually, sorry, by Vaisheshwar Prabhu at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then followed by Srimad Bhagavatam class by him. And Saturday evening at 6 o'clock, actually at 5:55, we will start. I'll start the Zoom conference tomorrow. And then we will be doing a Bhakti Rich session there tomorrow. Okay. Thank you once again for joining our call. Have a fantastic day. And I noticed that Charu Mataji joined the call now. At the end of it, I think she got the timings wrong. So Charu Mataji, we are about to end the call. Recording of this will be available on Facebook, so you can watch what you missed. And see you again tomorrow. Vanchukalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Gopremanande, Hari Hari Bol. Give me a Hari Bol. Please, if you're watching me on Facebook, please write and type Hari Bol. If you have difficulty typing, just typing H and B is good enough for me, but you need to type something over there. And I heard
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol from Preeti Radhika. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic, fantastic day. Hare Krishna.